The Chicago Cubs add a major piece to their bullpen that I believe is going to pay dividends here real soon. Let's talk about it. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Hey, listen, we are celebrating another Chicago Cubs series win, another Chicago Cubs victory. They improved to 34-21 on the season after taking another series in 11 innings against the Colorado Rockies, who now fall to 9-46 on the season. Shout out to everybody that tuned in to the live call, my very first live call, viewed through playback as well as on X, as well as on here on YouTube. Appreciate each and every last one of you guys so much. Remember, you can join in on the fun by joining in on playback or on YouTube. You can also join in the fun on these daily episodes by going ahead and leaving a voicemail at 217-816-5498. Or if you like, you can write me at cubsbaseball1992@gmail.com. The Chicago Cubs did what they needed to do, took care of business. It was not pretty, but they handled business. They beat the Colorado Rockies 4-3 in extra innings. In the bottom of the 11th inning, the Chicago Cubs, Matt Shaw, comes out there and he gives the Chicago Cubs the lift. Again, it's what we needed. It's what the day called for. And the Chicago Cubs went out there and they found another way to win another ball game. And again, it just helps aid them in keeping the St. Louis Cardinals at bay. Chicago Cubs are 34-21 on the season. And again, we just got to keep winning, man. Just keep winning. Winning solves everything. Winning helps out your organization. Shout out to Chris Flexen. I was nervous with him coming back in the top of the 11th after dealing in the top of the 10th. However, he did come back out in the top of the 11th, and he was able to get the outs. And Chris Flexen also was able to win the game, get his first win of the season as Chicago Cubs. So kudos to him. Appreciate all that he did for the team. Matt Shaw came in and just did what he needed to do. Like I said, the Chicago Cubs handled business. PCA was down. And was the Manfred man at second, stole third, tied the game up, and then after that, the Chicago Cubs were able to get the base hit that they needed, and John Birdie scored the run that allowed the Chicago Cubs to win the game. And yeah, so the Chicago Cubs now improved to 34-21 on the season. I'm sorry, that's not Chris Flexen's first win. That's his third win. He is 3-0 on the season. Kinley is 0-2 on the season, unfortunately, for the Colorado Rockies. But again, the Chicago Cubs took care of business, handled what they need to do. This is a team that you absolutely should beat. It really shouldn't have went to extra innings, but, you know, it is what it is. This is still the MLB, and you got to play who's in front of you, and you got to play them like they're a World Series competitor, even if they're not. Ball just was not flying out the park for the Chicago Cubs. Dansby Swanson hit to some real bad luck. He probably should have had a couple of RBIs and probably should have went 3 for 4 in this game. Instead, Dansby Swanson ended up going 1 for 4 in this game. They walked Kyle Tucker. He went 2 for 3. Seiya Suzuki had a rough day at the dish. 2 strikeouts, 1 for 5 in this game. He did score an RBI in the game, though. I thought he took some real bad swings up against Kinley when you needed him to be a hitter. Like I said, Dansby Swanson, not Dansby Swanson. Seiya Suzuki is one of those guys where I think when you're piling on, he's one of those guys that can help pile on. But as far as being clutch, I'm still the verdict's still out on Dansby being clutch. But we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Chicago Cubs once again will face these same Colorado Rockies on Wednesday at 7:05. It'll be Tanner Gordon going up against Matthew Boyd. Tanner Gordon is 1-1 with a 4.38 ERA. Matthew Boyd is 4-2 with a 3.42 ERA. That game starts at 7:05. We'll have have a video afterwards. But yeah, the Chicago Cubs, man, just keep on winning. Just keep on doing what they need to do to be successful in this league and to add on more and more wins. Again, like I said, just continuously winning, and it solves everything, man. The Chicago Cubs, let the rest take care of itself. Chicago Cubs will find a way to win ball games. Big news coming out. Two things. First and foremost, Miguel Amaya will be out 4 to 6 weeks with that oblique injury. Like I said, so you will see more of Reese McGuire. Probably more so, you'll see Carson Kelly. A lot of him. So, like I said, if that ERA drops, don't be. I'm sorry, not the ERA. If that batting average drops for Carson Kelly, do not be shocked. He is going to see a lot more time. But the brand new news is Chicago Cubs bullpen just got a lot stronger. The Cubs reportedly signed a 7-year MLB veteran with a career 3.88 ERA. That's right. Who is this? None other than Génesis Cabrera. Mike Gonzalez first reported that the sides were close on a deal. Cabrera declined an assignment with the New York Mets AAA team early this week after he was designated for assignment. So, again, the Chicago Cubs went in, swooped him up. He's 28 years old. He debuted in the big leagues in 2019 with who else? The St. Louis Cardinals. He spent 5 seasons with St. Louis and compiled a 4.414 ERA over that time. Afterwards, he spent 2 seasons with the Blue Jays. Then he made just 6 appearances with the Mets this year before being removed from the 40-man roster. So you ask yourself, okay, what can you expect? Cabrera brings heat, averaging a 96-mile-per-hour sinker and a 4-seam fastball. With that, he regularly mixes in a cutter and a curveball with a splint changeup up the most infrequently used pitch. Walks have haunted him throughout his career, evidenced by a 11.3% walk rate. At this time, it's unclear as to whether Cabrera's deal with the Cubs is MLB or MILB. But if he does report to the big leagues and join Chicago's 40-man roster at any time, he will join Drew Pomeranz and Caleb Thielbar as left-handed pitching options out the bullpen. So, like I said, another piece for the Chicago Cubs. Hopefully, he can keep those walks down. And he can get that strikeout rate up, or get the ground balls the Chicago Cubs need. And again, another southpaw, aiding with Drew Pomeranz and Caleb Thielbar and helping the Chicago Cubs win more games. Once again, that's my time for today. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a voicemail at 217-816-5498 or CubsBaseball992@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for your time. Appreciate you all. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.